We are not in the clear yet.
Now at 5, Mayor Joe Hogsett extends the stay-at-home order for Indianapolis through May 15th.
Breaking news tonight about helping thousands of kids be better equipped for e-learning. The investment IPS is making in its students.
And new information tonight about the murder of an Indianapolis mail carrier, how prosecutors say a dog and may have helped led to the deadly shooting.
Word tonight about the hundreds of complaints filed against the former owners of Indiana Beach. What happens now that the amusement park has new ownership? Call 6 investigates.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Now at 5, tomorrow we hear Governor Eric Holcomb's next steps when it comes to reopening the state. But today, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett made his position clear. Thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm Mark Mullen, social distancing from my home.
And I'm Amanda Starantino in the WRTV studio. Here in Indianapolis and Marion County, the mayor today extended the stay-at-home order until at least May 15th. The extension will be to the extent that's allowed by any modification of the state stay-at-home order by the governor, which is expected tomorrow. Mayor Hogsett said he's asking all residents to stay committed to slowing the spread of the virus over 2 weeks. Part of that request is asking all Marion County residents to wear a mask or face covering when out in public.
While we are making progress, we are not there yet. We are, however, at a stage where our actions over the next couple of weeks will dictate the route ahead for many months.
Here's a snapshot of where things stand in Marion County. Just today, the state health department reported 238 more positive cases for a total of 5,530. 328 residents have died. And some restrictions are relaxed starting tomorrow. The Marion County Health Department said golf courses can reopen, provided they follow proper social distancing and sanitizing practices. And farmers markets can also open starting tomorrow.
As for testing, nearly 25,000 Marion County residents have been tested, but that number is about to grow, and by quite a bit. Today, the city and Marion County Health Department began expanded testing to focus on the disparities of the virus in minority and older age groups. Testing is being done at Eastern Star Church's main campus near 30th and Arlington. Drive-through and walk-up testing options are available, but you have to make an appointment.
This is absolutely vital to get a handle on the pandemic that we have in the great city of Indianapolis.
Now, testing will continue tomorrow from 10 to 6. After that, testing will take place Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 to 6. You'll find a link to register for an appointment at our website, theindychannel.com. Statewide, we hit a sobering milestone today. More than 1,000 Hoosiers have now died from COVID-19. 44 new deaths were added to the count today. There are 669 new cases for a total of nearly 18,000. Nearly 95,000 people have been tested. This week, the state recorded its first COVID-19 death in the birth to 19 age range. They cannot comment about an exact age of the person, but by far, the highest number of deaths continues to be in those 80 and older at nearly 46%. Worldwide, the number of positive cases has topped 3.2 million and more than 231,000 deaths. Nearly 62,000 of those deaths are in the United States. But the number of people recovering in the U.S. is also growing. It stands now at more than 125,000 people. Work being done to help more people recover from coronavirus brought Vice President Mike Pence home to Indiana today. Pence visited the GM plant in Kokomo, one that the Hoosier businesses that has made big changes so it can produce life-saving equipment in the battle against COVID-19. GM is being paid by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to manufacture and provide 30,000 ventilators by the end of August. They'll be distributed to hospitals most in need right now across the country.
Standing here in the Hoosier State, being among people who put together this plant in 17 days and produced the first ventilator in 3 days, and in less than a month have produced 600 ventilators for the American people. I couldn't be more inspired.
And you can see the vice president wore a mask during today's visit after facing criticism earlier this week for visiting the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota without wearing one.
GM is hiring more than 1,000 workers to build the ventilators. RTV6's Stephanie Wade joins us now with how that's impacting the Howard County community.
Locals tell me the pride is strong here in Kokomo. The task of building 30,000 life-saving ventilators is something folks are excited about, helping contribute to this global health crisis.
Got to talk to a lot of the workers in there, and they couldn't be more excited. And not only because of the opportunity to have a job, but the mission that they're doing. I mean, they're creating a machine that is saving lives around the country, if not around the world.
To have 1,000 jobs added in the midst of an economic crisis was quite the morale boost, Howard County Commissioner Paul Wyman says when he was able to tour the plant last week. He says many people were laid off because of COVID-19. So this is really helping their local economy and getting people back to work.
I have a pizza shop, so we had the opportunity before it was up and running to actually deliver pizzas out there for all the electricians. So it kind of gave you goosebumps. I know it may sound kind of silly, but I've lived here all my life. My parents retired from GM, so I've got to watch the transition of that, you know, go from what it was to just declining, and then to have something so important as to building ventilators during this time. I think it's pretty amazing.
Working for you in Kokomo, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Ivy Tech Community College is assisting GM with their hiring process for 1,000 workers. The virtual job fair is planned for Wednesday at 11 a.m. To learn more about the open positions and the job fair, click on this story at hiringhoosiers.com and on the RTV6 app. Breaking details now. The state's largest school system is making a major investment in getting iPads and computers into the hands of students. IPS is planning to deploy 14,000 new Chromebooks for kids ranging from 3rd through 12th grades. These are images of existing devices passed out earlier this month. IPS is also planning to buy 7,000 new iPads to provide to children in kindergarten through 2nd grade. The new devices will cost $9 million and will allow the district to be better prepared for e-learning.
We want to make sure that we are equipped to be as nimble as possible because we don't know what the future looks like in terms of this health crisis. And if even when we are allowed to go back into our school facilities, that we won't have to, at some point in time, have our teachers and students back in their homes.
And the goal is to be ready with all the new devices by the start of the new school year this fall. The district is also planning to spend an extra $3 million to deploy hotspot technology.
New information tonight in the murder of a U.S. Postal Service worker on the city's east side. According to federal documents released today, the shooting stemmed from the safety concerns about a dog and held mail. 21-year-old Tony Cushingberry Mays is now accused of second-degree murder in Monday's killing of mail carrier Angela Summers. According to court documents, the Postal Service had several issues about the behavior of the dog at Cushingberry Mays' home, and because of that, placed a hold on the delivery of mail to that home on the 400 block of Denny Street. Prosecutors say Cushingberry Mays confronted Summers on Monday about his mail while she was at a neighboring home. Summers used pepper spray on the man, and prosecutors say that's when he shot her. According to court documents, Cushingberry Mays said he did not intend to kill Summers, but wanted to scare her. Hundreds of amusement park fans have filed complaints with the Indiana Attorney General against the previous owners of Indiana Beach. Those Indiana consumers say that they bought season passes only to learn the park would close. Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny has been digging into this and found out what the new ownership could mean for people left in the lurch.
Lisa's story has been coming to Indiana Beach since she was a little kid and now brings her own family to the Monticello amusement park.
We love the roller coasters, but Falling Star is probably our favorite.
Josh Bauscher feels the same way about Indiana Beach.
It was a cheap way for a middle-class family to have entertainment, you know, all throughout the summer for your kids. And then I was able to do that with my kids over the last couple years.
They spent hundreds of dollars on 2020 season passes, but in February, Apex Parks Groups announced it would close Indiana Beach, leaving customers like Lisa and Josh in limbo.
It kind of hit me later that I'd spent all that money and I wasn't going to be able to utilize those passes.
We talked to them in March before the COVID-19 pandemic and social distancing came about.
We contacted the attorney generals, and then we contacted you guys for help.
After Lisa reached out to Call 6 Investigates, we started digging and found more than 200 complaints filed with the Indiana Attorney General's office against Apex Parks regarding refunds for passes and campsites. Paul Wenthold and Damon Downey of West Lafayette also filed complaints with the state.
They're taking my money and not providing any service.
Why file a complaint?
For me, it's completely about the principle. You know, $120 is $120, but it's about the principle.
On April 23rd, White County officials announced Indiana Beach has a new owner, Chicago businessman Gene Staples. Call 6 Investigates did some checking and found the new owner will honor 2020 season passes. That means Lisa, Josh, Paul, Damon, and hundreds of other park goers won't need refunds after all. Their complaints remain open with the Attorney General's office, who will work to resolve their concerns with Apex. We followed up with them via phone, and they're all ecstatic the park will remain open and their passes will be honored.
This place has been open since 1926, so it's definitely a huge part of our community here.
They're looking forward to countless fun summers ahead. Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Well, season passes cost about $40 each under Apex Parks. We reached out to the previous and current owners of Indiana Beach, but they did not get back to us with our interview request. We will continue to reach out about plans to operate this summer as the pandemic continues.
Spacing out tables and ordering paper menus. I'm Nicole Griffin tonight, finding out the changes what restaurant owner is preparing for in effort to reopen.
I'm going to make a not so bold statement. It will be warmer tomorrow. How about that? We're only at 47. That's why we're headed up, and significantly so by the weekend.
Keller and Keller, right now.
It's hard to imagine the economic news we report today would have been possible at the start of the new year. A new number is out today show an additional 3.8 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. More than 30 million Americans have now filed for unemployment aid in the 6 weeks since the coronavirus outbreak. That is more people than the people that live in the New York and Chicago metropolitan areas combined. And here in Indiana, more than 580,000 Hoosiers make up that total number. That's more than 17% of Indiana's total labor force. The number of unemployment claims is slowly coming down, and last week more than 57,000 people applied for benefits in the state. That's a drop of about 15,000 from the previous week. And as businesses in Indiana begin to make plans for reopening, some people are concerned about having to choose between their safety and a paycheck. In some circumstances, if a business reopens but the employee does not feel safe going back to work, it could be considered a voluntary quit. That means if you choose not to go back to work, you could no longer qualify for unemployment benefits. Indiana Department of Workforce Development Commissioner Fred Payne said all claims are evaluated differently.
What we will do is we will evaluate on a case-by-case basis every claim that comes in. And if a person makes a claim that the employer's place is unfit and it's unsafe under COVID conditions, we will consider that as a part of a refusal to work determination.
Payne also said today so far the state has paid out $732 million in unemployment benefits. About $230 million of that is from the state. The rest is federal. And restaurant owners across the state are anxiously waiting to find out when they will be able to reopen their dining rooms. And tonight, our Nicole Griffin is talking to the owner of several local restaurants about plans he's putting in place to rebound from this economic crisis while keeping customers and employees safe. One of the changes that customers will notice here at Wolfie's and Geist right when they sit down at the table is a different menu. Instead of using their typical plastic menus, they have ordered boxes full of paper menus that they will throw away after each use. Caddies full of condiments are being removed from every table inside of Wolfie's. It's just one of several steps the restaurant is taking in order to prepare to keep customers and employees safe when they reopen. If a guest needs ketchup or mustard, they will be served individual portions. Tables will also be spaced out at least 6 feet.
For example, here at Geist, we've got an upstairs seating capacity of 100. Well, that'll go down to 50. We've got outside patios that we can spread out. We've got a beer garden that we'll be able to put people in. At our Fitchers location, that's going to be a challenge. That's 100 seating, so you're taking half that capacity out with no other options.
Waiting for a table will also look different.
Owner Scott Wolf says they will have staging locations monitored by employees. Once those fill up, they will require guests to wait in their cars.
We understand how important this is to open up the right way. It's so important that we exceed and excel in making sure that we're following all the guidelines and that we're communicating to our employees and our customers that it's going to be safe to go out.
During the pandemic, all 7 of Wolf's restaurants have stayed open with carry-out orders. Recently, they have seen sales increase to 25% of normal sales. But Wolf says if they don't reopen dining rooms soon, he doesn't know how much longer they will be able to stay open with carry-out only. Working for you in Geist, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And owner Scott Wolf also says they will have an employee dedicated to sanitizing the restaurant throughout every shift. Employees will also be required to have their temperature taken each day. These are guidelines he's come up with while working with other restaurant owners across the country.
Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast, and another day to be at home like Kevin and I are. Pretty chilly and blustery out there today, Kevin.
Mark, do you have your windows open?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, I predict you will Saturday, letting in some fresh air. We'll talk about these temperatures here in a second. Sometimes traffic cameras show more than cars. This is one of those times. Check this out. Mom feeding the little ones. I'm not exactly a bird expert, but my guess would be a red-tailed hawk. And I love how the chicks are a different color. It's a bit windy up on their camera stand. That's right by the airport, I-70 and Sam Jones Expressway. It's always fun when you catch some nature in those camera shots. 47 today. Here's the good news. Take the 7, put it in front of the 4, and you get your Saturday afternoon temperature actually above average. So from way below to above average temperatures, and we'll do that in about 48 hours. I want to show you the big swirl of clouds and showers. If you watch around Fort Wayne, you'll see the rotation of the area of low pressure, that little spin. That's the center of all the cloud cover and the showers. That will pull to the east, and then see the clearing line back in Illinois? They've got a lot of sunshine west of Champaign. That clearing line will make some progress to the east during the evening. The wind, if you wanted to talk wind chills, we could. Wind chill temperatures have been in the upper 30s today. That wind is cold out of the northwest and strong. It will calm down a bit tonight and eventually, and this is key, turn to the south as we get to the weekend. 44 in Peru and Tipton, 47 in Indianapolis. We're putting the finishing touches here in the final hours of the month of April on what has been a very cool month. Lola and Abby, good news for you. Ladies, you can remove the raincoats. You will not need raincoats tonight, tomorrow, or as we get into Saturday. You'll enjoy having those off and enjoying some sunshine. If you're going for a walk this evening, it'll still be windy and cool, so you'll need a jacket. Friday, plan on temperatures moving from the low 40s into the mid 60s. Eastern half of the state will have more cloud cover than the western half, but we all get into sunshine through the day, and it will not be as windy. Winds out of the northwest. Temperature range from mid 60s to almost 70. Temperatures will climb into the 70s as we go to the weekend. First half of the weekend, the better half in the sense that if you need to get outdoors, get work done, it will be dry. The chance of rain will increase Saturday night. And then showers and some thunderstorms around on Sunday. Saturday wind, gusty, but warmer. 15 to 20 miles per hour. That carries the temperature all the way to 74 degrees. And I just want to show you from the highs on the Saturday to our chance for thunderstorms overnight and really into Sunday morning. Here comes the rain developing right along Interstate 70 and will be with us first thing on Sunday. 7-day forecast unveiled. The warmth does not last, but at least we string 3 days together, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday at 70 degrees or warmer. Then you see temperatures fall. Tuesday 66, only 60 by next Wednesday. But let's celebrate weekend temps.
Let's do that. Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it. Well, the weather postponed a flyover salute to those fighting COVID-19. The new date and more cities added. Next.
An aerial military salute to those on the forefront in fighting COVID-19 was supposed to take place over central Indiana today, but due to the weather, that's been moved to Saturday. Members of the 122nd Fighter Wing of the Air National Guard will be doing the flyover. 4 A-10 Warthogs will start in Terre Haute around 11:35 Saturday, then fly over the Johnson Armory near Franklin. They'll head toward Community Hospital East, followed by St. Vincent Hospital in Carmel, then come back over Indianapolis over the VA and IU hospitals. Then they'll travel over the Lawrence Armory, downtown Anderson, downtown Muncie, and then finish by flying over the Marion VA Hospital around 12:15. The timing could flex a bit. Anyone within 3 miles of the flight path should be able to see this magnificent salute, weather permitting. And all of the changes COVID-19 is causing is hard for everyone, but it can be even harder for children with special needs. The local company that wants to help families and kids adjust to this new normal. And here's a live look outside at DePaul University in Greencastle. We're seeing some cloudy skies out there. We'll be back for the news at 6.